Look, if we're really going to make America healthy again, we're going to need people that are willing to change the way things are. And Dr. Jay Bhattacharya has been an outspoken critic of the National Institute of Health. He has been the bane of the NIH's existence, calling out Dr. Francis Collins, calling out, of course, Anthony Fauci, calling out the various COVID responses that took place during the pandemic, following the pandemic, and all that good stuff, which is why it is an awesome move, I think, in my humble opinion, an amazing move that President Trump nominated Dr. Jay Bhattacharya as the new director of the NIH. It's poetic justice because they hate him, okay? They've hated him for as long as he's had a voice. I've published his work before on my show. I am very, very impressed with him because and keep in mind, this is one of those guys that you can classify as truly wicked smart. I mean, this guy knows his stuff, and it's not just in the medical field. The guy is also a top-notch economist. Some of his writings have sparked some real discussions, real debate, and I am very impressed, extremely impressed, that President Trump has nominated him, especially in that role. It is perfectly fitting, and he's going to fit in just like he's going to work peas in the pod with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. According to an article over at the Conservative Treehouse, President Trump announces additional nominees for RFK Jr.'s team at HHS. President Trump has announced Jay Bhattacharya as nominee to serve as director of the National Institute for Health and Jim O'Neill to serve as Deputy HHS Secretary to Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Dr. Jay Bhattacharya is a famous critic of the NIH and the COVID-19 policy that they put forth. Bhattacharya has advocated for a major shakeup of the NIH and accused former NIH leaders Francis Collins and Anthony Fauci of suppressing scientific debate and research during the pandemic, and they definitely did, and he definitely was the guy that they didn't want to hear from. As far as Jim O'Neill, he's fine. Look, he's a bureaucrat. He's experienced. I think I believe he's currently CEO of the Thiel Foundation, and he was in the administration, not this administration, but he was in a previous administration under George W. Bush. The guy is a bureaucrat. He knows how to navigate the waters. Adding him as assistant or deputy HHS secretary to RFK Jr. might fit perfectly. I don't know. I'm sure that RFK Jr. interviewed him, felt comfortable with him, and said, "Yeah, this guy knows how to navigate the waters in ways that I don't." And so that's good. So here's two stellar picks in my humble opinion. But let's, just in case you're not familiar with Dr. Jay Bhattacharya, let's go ahead and play a clip just to give you a little taste test of what we can expect in the future of the NIH.
I think the question is, why is the Biden administration still using its leverage to protect Dr. Fauci and his reputation? Why is that a major goal of the Biden administration's policies?
He's still the golden boy, Dr. Fauci, of so many communities in the United States that have sworn a political allegiance to maintain political apartheid in America, so that scientists who believe in a lab leak are separate. They're separate but equal, maybe not even separate but equal, but they do not go to the same panels. They are not invited to the same editorial boards. They don't have the same rights in publishing and in science. It's I don't know if you saw this. This is delicious. Did you guys see this? Rochelle Walensky just last week receives the Anthony B. Fauci Courage and Leadership Award from the Infectious Diseases Society of America.
I'm frankly stunned. I mean, I guess suppose it does take some measure of courage to say things that are entirely contrary to reality confidently, and know that you're going to somehow fool half the country into believing that you're right. And Rochelle Walensky, I think, fully deserves an award. I mean, in some sense, it's quite fitting that she get an award with his name on it.
I don't know if I'd call it fitting. It's ugly that a person like Anthony Fauci has so many perks after his disastrous career. It's been disastrous for the United States of America. But hey, look, moving forward, we got Dr. J. Which, to be clear, look, if that's the trade-off, I've been very critical of Trump's appointment of Dr. Janet Neshiwat as Surgeon General. She is a vax nanny. She was a mask nanny. She was very much against abortion restrictions. She's come out, sort of reversed her perspectives a bit on those. But here's the thing: as I said before, Surgeon General is more of a ceremonial role. They don't really make policy. Whereas Dr. Jay Bhattacharya, as NIH director, he is going to work and making policy with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and Jim O'Neill. So I think that this is just a stellar move across the board. We'll give it an A minus. The grouping of those two together, Jim O'Neill and Dr. J, because let's give it an A. We're going to give it an A. It's my show. I like this pick a lot. Be sure to follow my work everywhere that I work by going to jdrucker.com/find, F-I-N-D, jdrucker.com/find. You'll find my socials, my shows, my Substacks, the works.